Hi y'all, I thought this would be a fun video to show you guys how I created a fall image here in California with not any fall colors. So I just moved from Dayton, Ohio to Monterey, California, and I'm missing all the leaves changing and all the good fall stuff. So I wanted to create this little image with my little boy with his little radio flyer wagon. And yeah, I'm going to show you how I went from this to this. So it just like makes it pop and it looks more like fall. So if this is something you're interested in, then keep watching. Now, here's the before, here's the after. Now, I should tell you, I'm not the most professional video tutorial creator out there. I'm not. I'm going to be like Phoebe off Friends, how she teaches Joey how to play the guitar. Like, I just make up words sometimes, so bear with me. Okay. And you might hear my kids in the background, so, you know, it's just life. So, we're going to start it. I'm going to reset this. And I would start with SMAL 1 as a base. It's versatile. I love it. I can tweak it however I want. Sometimes I'm what you call a preset whore. I have like every preset out there. So if you want to see a preset, like, different kinds, I'll show you. Just leave a comment. Okay, so I'm increasing the exposure to about 0.7. Okay, and then I'm going to increase the warmth, the temperature to about 8,000. Now, some people like warm images and some people don't. So if this isn't, if that's too warm for you, then, do what you want. It's your art. Okay, so about 82. I'm going to increase the contrast to about 30. I like my images contrasty. See? I'm sure that's not even a real word. And I'm going to double click the clarity. So SMAL takes off like 5 or something. Just double click it, and then I'm going to take off the grain. I don't want grain here. And that's all I do in Lightroom. Now you can use the brushes and, do different stuff but in Lightroom, but I feel like I have more control in Photoshop, so that's what I always do. So I just go to Photo, and then Photoshop. And it usually takes forever. Okay, here we go. So, first thing I usually do is go to levels, and levels is just another way to change the shadows and the highlights, and over here is the shadows, the dark. So I'm going to bring it back because SMAL creates a matte. Right? It has a matte in the tone curve. Let me show you. Here's the tone curve. Okay, and he brought it up. Okay. And so I'm going to take that off. Now you could do it in here, but like I said, I have more control over here. So I'm going to slide this little arrow to here. See, not very professional. I don't even know what it's called. And then I'm going to increase the highlights. I'm going to bring it back to here. And then here's the midtones, and I'm going to raise them. So see how it brightens his face? That's what I want. So here's before. Now, it increased the overall brightness of the midtones. Bleh. It increased the whole image. The midtones. It brightened up the whole image. That's what I'm trying to say. I'll spit it out in a second. But I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to hit Command I. It's a shortcut. And I'm going to inverse the layer. So this layer was white, and it's going to change to black. Command I. And now I'm going to paint with a white brush to reveal it, because it's black. I'm going to paint with white, and it's going to show what I just did. Okay? So, here we go. Okay. And this way, your eye is drawn. I'm painting with black right now because I got some white over here. Your eye is drawn to him. Okay, so before, after, love. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Oh, crap. See? Make sure you're... Okay. And you can look over here. See if it looks good. Okay. Now I'm going to hit this and flatten it. I flatten it so it saves it. Okay. Now I'm going to go to my brightness and contrast. Now, if you don't have your level, okay, first of all, let me do this. Your adjustments, go to window, adjustments. Window, adjustments. Okay, so now they're right here. Okay, so I'm going to go to contrast, and I'm going to increase the contrast of this. But you see what happens to his face when I increase the contrast. I don't want that. So I'm going to, I don't even know if I want it on the pumpkins because that's a little much. So I'm going to paint with black. I'm going to take it off. Okay. Now I'm going to flatten it. And now I'm going to open my actions, window actions. And I'm going to use the magic eraser from Pro Retouch 2.0 by Totally Rad. Okay, it's my favorite skin thing. Skin action. I have portraiture too, but I just like the control I have over this. And I like painting. It's just more fun. Okay, so it's black, so we're going to paint with white. And then I'm going to zoom in by hitting Command plus, and then I'm going to reduce my paintbrush by hitting the left bracket key. The left bracket makes it smaller, the right bracket makes it bigger. Okay, and I always paint with a soft round brush, so the hardness is 0. Okay, alright, let me show you what the hardness does. Like, see, you can see the circle, edit, undo. So I'm going to make sure the hardness is 0. And then I'm going to start painting. Small brush. Hopefully you guys cannot hear my music, so YouTube doesn't remove my video for copyright. Okay. Okay. So, you see his nose is like that. So I'm going to paint with black to take it off and make sure it's off his mouth and his eyes. And then I'm going to zoom out, Command minus. Okay, but you see how it kind of looks fake because in the creases, it's just too soft. So I'm going to zoom in and paint with black and bring back the lines. Okay. And then I'm going to paint on his skin right here with white. Make sure you paint with white. Okay. Look at his dirty little fingers. If you watch this behind the scenes, you'll see he was playing with dirt or sand or whatever it is in California. Sandy dirt. Okay. So, and his face still looks kind of fake. So I'm gonna do it again. Okay. That looks better. Okay, so now I'm going to flatten it, and then I'm going to make another adjustment layer, brightness and contrast, and I'm going to reduce the contrast on his face a little bit and brighten it up. So it applied it to the overall image, right? So I'm gonna do it again. Command I, and then make my brush bigger, and make sure you're painting with white. There. So your eye goes straight to him, because he's so cute. Alright, flatten. Now I want to darken the background a little bit. So I'm going to take my curves layer, and I'm going to put a dot right there and drag it down to make it dark. And you can add matte if you want, but I don't want to here. And then I'm going to use, instead of inverting that layer, because most of it's going to be dark, I'm just going to paint with black on the white. A big brush. And see how it's like a halo right there? I'm going to take that off. Okay. So I'm going to paint with white to make sure it's still dark over here, if that makes sense. Now, that's very dramatic, and I don't want it that dark. So I'm going to slide my opacity down. There. That looks pretty good. Hit flatten. Okay, now the fun part. I'm going to add the fall colors. Now it's kind of orangey already, but I'm going to go to my color balance. And in the midtones, I'm going to add red. Ooh. And yellow, because red and yellow make orange. Okay, but obviously that's super fake. So I'm going to reduce the opacity. And then I'm going to paint, Command I, invert it, paint with white to just do it to the background. Do it. Okay. Before, after. Now you can, like, I just did that to the midtones, but you can do it to the highlights and the shadows too. So, shadows. And that's too dramatic for me. Shadows. I'm just showing you guys what you can do. Highlights. Ooh, that's kind of nice. I like a little more red. Okay, so Command I. Actually, no. Cut that. Okay, so you can add it to the highlights too. But I'm gonna create a different layer so I have more control over the highlights. So I'm just gonna so this is 0, the shadows are 0, and the midtones are this. Okay, then I'm gonna flatten it. And I'm gonna create another layer or adjustment layer, color balance. And I'm gonna go to the highlights and add red. And that looks nice to me. And you might want it on their skin, but I don't really want it on his skin because it's too warm. So I'm just going to paint with black. And take it off. Okay. I'm going to flatten it. And maybe add some more contrast to the pumpkins and the boots. So, Command I, so it doesn't apply it to my overall image. And I'm going to paint with white. I'm going to pop these pumpkins and his little boots. He loves these boots. Okay. And I think that looks good. Oh, you know what, though? He's got a little hair sticking up, so I'm going to hit I'm going to duplicate this layer. Shortcut to duplicate the layer, Command J on a Mac. Can't remember what it is on a PC. Hit the spot healing brush, or spot healing tool, Command plus to zoom, and then you guys see these leaves? I did this so you can see better. Let me know if you don't like it. And then take away these little hairs. Okay. And then you can get out whatever's distracting in the photo. Like, I could take out this stick if I wanted to, but I don't really care. Okay, so now I'm going to flatten it and show you guys. I'm going to save it to Lightroom. Save. Okay. And show you guys the before. Okay, so here's the before and here's the after. Ta-da! Let me know what you think. You can ask me questions. You can join my group, Photo Editing with Heather Marshall. You can like and subscribe my YouTube channel. You can comment and ask me, or suggest a photo that I show you how I edited, whatever you guys want. Let me know how I did, and yeah, I hope you like it. Thanks. Bye.